Hi, are you here for the 11:30 appointment?
Yes.
All right, come in and have a seat.
Okay.
My name is Rye, and you are Jamie, correct?
Yes.
It's very nice to meet you, Jamie. Thank you for coming in today.
Nice to meet you too.
How do you feel about being here today?
Feeling a little bit nervous.
A little bit nervous?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here at Imaginary Agency. We provide a variety of therapeutic services for people who are referred or who want just a little bit of help. We have group therapy, we have family therapy, we have individual therapy. There's a lot of different avenues that we can do. And I'll talk to you more about those services later in the appointment. Before we go much further, I know that you went over some of this in your intake process, but I wanted to review our confidentiality policy. Basically, most of what you say in this office will stay in this office, and it's very important to me that you feel safe talking to me. There are, however, some rules that I have both from the state and from our agency where I might have to break that confidentiality. And that is if you have a plan to harm yourself or harm others, then I have to notify someone of that. Also, if you disclose or talk about harm to what's called a vulnerable adult, so an adult who doesn't really have the capacity to make their own decisions responsibly, or a child.
Okay.
Or if you disclose that someone is harming you because you are, I believe you're 17, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
At 17 you are still a minor, so if you disclose that someone in your family or someone in your life is harming you, then I am mandated to report that as well. Do you have any questions about our confidentiality policy? Do you understand?
Really, yeah, understand those, but I want to make sure that if you, like, it's going to be actually exactly like, nothing, nobody going to hear about this, because I want it to be on you and me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything that you disclose to me, I will keep confidential. I don't need to tell your parents. I don't need to tell the sheriff's office who referred to me, unless, like I said, those special instances where there's a threat of harm to either yourself or to another person. Okay?
Great.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you were referred by the sheriff's office. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience there?
I was prepared because, you know, that something happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It happened before, and happened again this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's something police pull me over, or police they stop me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they find that I'm involved into some different activity like that I should not involved in against my friend.
Okay.
So,
So the police stopped you because you were with a friend and doing an activity that they did not want you to be doing.
right.
Would you feel comfortable telling me a little bit more about that? What was going on?
I think it was evening. So me and my friend went out. So we stopped at the store. So we steal some we actually need a cigarette. We don't have money, so we steal cigarette and we steal something in the store.
Okay.
So the police, the people in the store call police on us. So the police come and stop us. So that's the trouble that happened at that time. So from there, I got in trouble with my family because they don't want me to be there. Those people are to involve in those activities. So it is great trouble to me.
Okay. And it said in the referral that this was the second time that you had been involved with the police.
Right.
Was the previous incident, was that also, was that the same situation?
The first one was we are in the car with me and my friend too. Like we driving around, so we was drinking a little bit. Police stop us. So the police say we are minors, so we don't have to drink. That's what's the problem.
Okay. So what do you feel that you might get from our services that would help you with these situations with the police?
I would feel like, because if you can connect maybe some resources, or I mean, that may have some other resource that may prevent me to go to my, like, to go back to all the thing that I involved to.
I'm very excited to explore some resources with you. In order for me to really understand what kind of resources are going to be most beneficial to you and your family, could you tell me how you feel that the choices that you're making with the stealing the cigarettes and the drinking and driving around with your buddies, how those choices are affecting your life, what benefits and what negative consequences do you have from those choices?
You mean those choices that I made before? Yeah, it affect me because, you know, I'm not in good relationship with my family, so I want to get back to my family to have a good relationship, and also I want to buy some resources. Let's say now I'm 17, I want to get a job that may favor me to not to go back to those activities. And I also want to be connected with some good friends. Like I want team, like maybe I play sport too. So I want to play basketball or football. I play those too. So I can find those.
So by football, do you mean soccer or do you mean football?
Oh, I mean soccer.
Okay, just checking. Just gotta clarify. So it sounds like you'd like to work on your relationship with your family, and then also find some other activities that you could do to replace the choices that you're making when you're hanging out with these friends that you keep getting in trouble with. Is that seem accurate to you?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. We can. You should have heard in the intake process before you had the appointment with me today that we will also have a separate meeting with your parents to kind of talk about not what you have said to me in here because it is confidential, but just kind of what the plan for the services that your family will be receiving. And at that time, because it sounds like you would like to work on the relationship that you have with your parents, I would like your permission to approach them about doing some family therapy. Does that sound like something you would be interested in?
Yes.
Okay. And then we also have a adolescent boys group that has people who've had some similar experiences as you in your kind of age group, where they can talk about and share with each other. Because while I'm happy to listen to what you have to say, there's only so much understanding I have of being a 17-year-old boy, because clearly I'm not a 17-year-old boy. So in the adolescent teenage group, you'd be able to talk to your peers who are kind of in different stages of their life, and how they have dealt with kind of making some different choices when they've had a background similar to yours. Does that also sound like something that you'd be interested in?
Right.
Okay. And then you mentioned the possibility of looking for a job and some other activities in the community?
Yes.
Okay. We don't actually provide those kind of services here, but I would be happy before our next meeting to compile a list of places that do have people who can help you with things like building a resume and figuring out what kind of job and you would be looking for, and that someone who more specializes in that sort of service for you, and also some places in the community that have like sports clubs and things like that you might be interested in.
Okay.
So that between now and our next meeting, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to meet with your parents, and I'm going to compile some resources for the stuff that you've been interested in.
Okay.
What I would like you to do, because ultimately your choices brought you here, and your choices are going to be what propels your life forward. Does that seem fair?
Okay.
So you get some homework too. And your homework is going to be to attend the Adolescent Boys group and see how you feel about it. And the next time we meet, you can tell me if you feel like that group is going to be beneficial, and if you feel like that's something that's gonna be helpful to you, then we'll get you, permanently placed in there. Does that sound like a good plan?
Right.
All right. Okay, is there any questions you have about what we've talked about?
Yeah,
or
the next thing
anything
that
else?
I want to add is that if, because I really try
Mhm.
to work it out with my family,
Mhm.
but there's something a little bit that they not convene. So for your next meeting with them, so
Mhm.
just try to talk with them. So
Okay.
because I don't want to get in trouble again. So
Okay.
and also I think
Do you feel comfortable with us meeting, me and your parents meeting, without you, or would you prefer to be present for that meeting?
no, you have to meet with them. So
Okay.
I think talk with them. So I will meet
Okay.
with you stuff like that.
Okay, that sounds great then. Thank you so much for coming in, and we will see you next week.
Okay.
Okay.
See you.
We'll see you to the.
Okay. Okay.